Morning. Alright. Helen for YouFit Studio. Just wrestling with technology on this beautiful day. Alright, morning all. Right. Just to let something's on. Hey Hammer, Helen YouFit Studio, at YouFit Studio, in YouFit Studio, for YouFit Studio. It is Saturday, peeps. Whoop! Oh, we're all queuing up. Hello. Pooja, Hema, Karen, Rupal, Kajal, Hafsa, Kate. Ugh. I keep doing the wrong arm. I'm going to use my good arm. How is everybody today? Mira, good to see you again, Mira. Feels like only Thursday, because it was. I look more tan on Instagram than I do on Facebook. It's, not sure how I feel about that. I need to find some contrast for this. Morning, Pooja. Morning. It's all right, isn't it? It's going fast. I've been up since 4:30 today. It's like half my day is already done. Karen's just done strength, she's winning. Also just do Met as well. Karen, it's on in a bit. As soon as you finish the listen to this, it's like you're relaxed before you go again. Do some Met afterwards. Oh, I forgot how much I love these chairs, didn't it? Look like a bit of a loon rocking back and forth. It's quite fun. Rupal. Right back at you. Daksha! Oh, Daksha, have you been for your swim yet? Daksha Chohan's going for an outdoor swim. I'm not sure if I'm not sure I feel about that. I mean, it's really cold, hey Vishal, but it's really cold, Daksha, going for that outdoor swim. Fair play to you though. I hope you do have a good one. I was like, literally, I don't know, I've been so overly excited about somebody going for a swim in all my life. Isn't that crazy? That's what's happened in lockdown. It's just like, the things we get excited about. Someone's going for a swim! Yay! Oh dear God, right. I think we got some peeps now, so we're gonna go. I did a live some time ago. Oh, Karen, you can go swimming at Stony Cove. Possibly the coldest place on the planet, even at most of the times, but especially this weekend. You can go swimming there, Karen. Yields. She's already been for a swim and came back for strength. I do. Maybe got a photo of this event, please, Daksha. So I can do another clapping monkey when I open up and go, yay! So excited. Anyway, back to live, not about swimming. So I did a live about pausing, about pause mentality and what's happening, etc. And I'm gonna go back to some of it, but I'm also going to use some different perspectives on it as well, which I've included in other lives since. Okay. Because I think it's quite important, because there are still some people in a pause mentality. So what do I mean by a pause mentality or pausing? What I mean is that then the obvious, you go, oh, they're just staying still. That means that's what pausing is. Although it's not always the case, actually. That is, if you're talking about from a physical sense, yes, but actually what's happening is some people are still, at this point, looking backwards. Now, when they're looking backwards, what they're looking at is wishfulness, I guess. I say wishful thinking. They are still looking back at, I don't know, what's that, 4 months now? They're looking backwards mentally 4 months, and that is stopping them moving forward now. So looking backwards, and I love this as a statement. We'll be talking about this again next week as well. They are not changing with change. And that's thinking. So some people are not changing with change. There's a selection of people who probably haven't actually unpaused the button from early April. a bit of a kerfuffle in the first week and then just stopped. Why? Why are people still looking backwards, and why are people still not changing with change? I want to so desperately talk about the book this later on in the week. I'm going to plug it again for everybody because I'm doing this live. Check my diary. I'm doing this live on Friday of this week. So Friday of this week coming, it's going to be all about who moved my cheese. And I'm not going to go into the analogies today, even though I desperately want to, because it does apply to this as well. Because I think I want people to have read or listened to it ahead of time. I'm going to get Sam to put it on the units this week, if not today. So what would be fantastic is that for you guys who frequent, you people who watch and listen to this, can I recap yourself on that book before Friday of this week? Because it's great to get everybody's input on what they see, right? Because this book is literally a summation of lockdown in a very small ditty book that was written some time ago. Don't know the date, but this is before I was in my 20s, which was obviously only last week. However, it'd be fantastic for me to listen to it, because some of this recapping is because of that text as well. So some people are metaphorically and in some cases physically still shouting into the sky in a very frustrated way that things are not back as they were in January. And I don't mean like you can go out somewhere, I mean as in literally that things aren't exactly as they were. And that's what's absolutely fascinating about the pause mentality when it's happening at this stage, if I'm talking about this particular behaviour. So as I say, it's not that people want some things back, they literally want things to be exactly the same, right? And why? Because potentially, okay, the obvious one is the gym, right? There's a certain amount of clients, and God bless them, it is sometimes I start a one-to-one call or video call, and I've said hello, and the first question is, when are you opening? Have you heard the news? When? It's a heartbeat, and it's very flattering. Don't get me wrong. I think it's too long now for me to keep asking myself the same question. I would be literally looking at this in a chair, but it's not actually got some. I'll just be in a rocking chair. I'll just be literally going like this. And yet that's probably, if I'm like that, and there's some people who want things exactly as they were. Imagine when the headspace is at. The gym is an explanation, yes, but the things they want might not just be that. It might be everything they've worked hard for. So everything they've worked hard for that's been taken from them by this, right? And that's what they want back. So hey, Dajjal, if somebody's pausing because they want their life to be exactly as it was, what they want to be exactly as the same might be, I want my work to be exactly the same. Another good one. I'm not gonna, no, Helen, I'm not gonna see all in my friends or really see my family, because the whole thing is too much to deal with, too stressful. So until I can hug everybody and high five everybody, I'm just avoiding seeing my friends and family. Okay, so when I say, we just go back to the statement, they're not changing with change. So they want things to be exactly as they were before. So in the meantime, they are hunkering down and not making changes. Significantly with food, the same. I've talked about it before about balancing, the balancing act. Some people are not considering their food choices or choices around food for similar reasons, right? Because they want things to be exactly as they were before, which is, I didn't do my food before lockdown. I didn't need to because I was going to the gym. So until the gym opens, I'm just going to behave exactly the same with my food, because anything that needs to change is I want my life back exactly as it was, and I can go to the gym as many times as I want a week and not deal with my food. In this mentality, there's also, I've noticed, especially over the last few weeks, it seems to be a little bit more pronounced, is, so we're calling challenges from yesterday's life, a challenging way to see positives in a situation. The word opportunity is rarely used in this situation. So again, not changing with change, not seeing opportunities to change, even though they might be there. They're not willing to see. It's like it makes me think of this see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and this particular group of people pausing still are like this. No, 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 no. Or they might be going like this. No, I can't hear you. No, no, no. No, can't see anything, can't hear anything. I'm just going to stay right here and still be angry and frustrated. That anger and frustration might come out in, which is interesting as well. And you might know these, you might have noticed this in people around you, friends and family, etc. That anger and frustration is sometimes also directed at people who are changing with change. Okay? So people with the pause mentality at this stage, like a proper pause mentality, waiting for life to get back exactly the same as it was before, are often those who are frustrated and angry at people who are changing with change. Right? And again, I'm going to ask the same questions because I always like a why, what, how, right? So why? Because like anything in life, when we criticise or potentially judge other people, hey Kimmy, we're actually frustrated, and it's a reflection of the fact that we are not changing with change. So when people who are in a pause mentality get frustrated and angry, right, at those who are changing, it's because it's reflecting back that they are not. So rather than actually start to look at things differently, it actually just makes them more frustrated and angry. Like, how is it these people are going out and sitting in someone's back garden, even though it's completely permitted, by the way. FYI. Why are people driving to McDonald's, or what's the choice, right? Why are people going shopping? It's madness. I'm just going to stay here and do nothing and wait for everything to go exactly the same as it was before. Okay, but they're changing with change. So there is still a divide that I'm seeing between, again, people who are changing with change and people who are not changing at all. I mean, just technology. Not changing at all, right? They are still waiting. And again, Isabel, morning. Isabel, if you haven't read Who Moved My Cheese, I'm going through it on Friday's Live, this Friday. Sam's going to put the link into the units. So if it's one you haven't read, Isabel, I love for you to read it before Friday's Live, next Friday, and then give me your gist on it. Because I think it's very prevalent, and it touches actually on one, without going to specifics, the one on Friday into this situation as well. It's also just the final point on why are people not changing, or why are people still in the pause mentality at this stage. That's it. Kajal is called Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer something. It's not his name, I can't remember. Which is quite bad because I've read it quite a lot. But Who Moved My Cheese is not a common title. Just say that, Kajal. It's very interesting. What I commented on the other day, Kajal, is I've read this book so many times in my life, like in my 20s, 30s and now 40s, and there's no more prevalent time in the entire existence of this text that it actually applies to. And this is what I'm talking about now, actually, interestingly. And if and when you read or listen to this book, you'll recognise the character that I'm talking about, because there's 4 characters in this book. And this is why I've revisited this one, is this is one of the characters. This is a very clear character in this text, someone who does not change with change, right? So someone who does not change with change, I keep saying it. So what's the outcome? Well, a lot of frustration and anger, which tends to get, again, reverted out, possibly, well, in most cases, it's not constructive. I think it's really ironic about this, I think, is that whilst it's called pause mentality and people are not changing, they don't actually, this is what's interesting, and maybe some said ironic about it, is they don't stay the same in potential personality and physical side of it as well. So whilst they're refusing to change with change, as in talked about the definition, right? So the definition of pausing is to stay still. a bit of a mix, it's contradicting, isn't it? But what actually really happens is that continual frustration and anger, because it can't really be answered or resolved, directs inside. And at this stage, if someone is still pausing, it becomes a low mood situation. It becomes that, develops into poor behaviours. And when I say poor behaviours, I mean in a judgment way, but in terms of poor decision making, we'll say, around food choices or activity levels, right? I've heard it be described as the drift, right? Drift. So interesting, like drift, we think drift is kind of drifting around. But actually what happens with drift is there's a lack of focus. There's a lack of focus from these individuals still at the moment, right? There's a slow slide into that person. Oh, I've worked with so many, not now, I'll clarify, I don't know with these people now, but for previous, I think we've all done it. If you've worked in a business situation where someone's worked somewhere for more than 5 years, they are usually the most resistant to change in any working environment. And in any of this kind of a new business kind of change, they just kind of lose, you know what I mean? They're the person that's just really negative about it, that has nothing good to say, that over a number of years has become, I love to call them mood hoovers, right? So these, it is what it is. I'm laughing at my own definition, but it's true. Okay, we've all worked or been in contact with a mood hoover. And these are people, again, resistance. They're not changing with change. They want things to be exactly the same as they were because they love them as they were. They might have been working really long and hard to really enjoy life as it was in January. And now, because it's not exactly the same as it was, whatever that was, they've lost in their head. Rather than seek an opportunity to find something different, they will mood hoover people around them because they want to suck them into the same space. Now, interestingly, I quite like talking to a mood hoover. I seem to be exceptional because I can see this is going on, and I really like to. It's like me going picking. Oh, okay, but how do I pick at it if I'm a coach? So Kajal saying, is there a balance for people who are always wanting change, like down to boredom or something? Ooh. Okay, but that would be, yes, there's a balance. I did a live on it, Kajal, and it was about are you changing your environment? So those people, Kajal, actually so pin their happiness on the environment around them. So they'll constantly try and change it to try and find something that fulfills them in some way because they don't find it in an existing environment. So yeah, it's a good question. It goes a slightly different way from my experience. It's almost like there's another character in the text actually that might actually apply to, interestingly, the person that's always moving and always looking and always seeking. In this text, not in a negative way, but yes, to some degree. But then I say, I'm talking about extremes here as well, though, Kajal. There's always something in between, right? I'm talking about extreme because they exist, and it's easy to explain what I'm getting at, because the thing is, well, when you read the book, you'll understand that all of us at some point have been one of these four characters. And I'm not criticising this character, by the way, because I know I've been this. So let's be honest, I might be describing a situation we've all been in. I'm using lockdown as a really obvious one, because it is. However, take any kind of change in your life, or any kind of major change, end of a relationship, loss of a job, any kind of loss in your life, there's some element where you've been this person, or these behaviours have been there. It's just there's a lot of it going on at the minute. We're in this I want to call it transitional phase. So how do I pick at the non-change? It's interesting because there is a character. There's another character in this who goes through this and starts in his position and gigs himself out, because it's literally what it's like sometimes. Sometimes you have to dig yourself out of this behaviour and this mood. Because here's where I challenged a client on this who was only willing to do the work when the gyms were open. So not willing to look at her food, in a serious way, even though she knew there was literally no way that she'd be eating the food that she was and not expecting to gain weight and not doing activity at the same level as here, because she had such a great result using the gym here that she saw this as the only thing that gave her fulfillment in life, or working at exercise gave her the most fulfillment in life. And what I said to her is that you're waiting for something to come back that will never come back. And I said to her, I'm not saying that YouFit is not going to open. What I'm saying to you is that you're holding on to a memory of being able to access a gym facility, any gym facility, in exactly the same way that you remembered before. So you in your head, you're visualising the same process, that you're going to drive into the car park or go, oh, got to reverse back out, there's somebody coming out, right? Like literally go for the whole scenario. Oh, I'll just park around the corner, walk round, come in, high five Bav at the desk, come through, get a high five from the whole team, go and train in a fun, exciting environment. That will still be the same. You know, just million an hour, just whatever I want. Lose weight, go home, do it the same every single day. And I'm like, this is something that will not return for some time. This is not what you're going to get back. So you're holding on to something that's not coming back. So when people are still pausing, they're holding for something that is not going to be the same. So part of that is challenging that in that sense, like I did with that client. Said, guess what though? What will come back will be something different. What will come back will be something different and better. You'll be far better. The thing is, whilst you've got your head stuck on, it can only be this way or no way, there will be no change and no difference and no change in your attitude and no unpausing, whatever you want to call it. Because you only want things a particular way because that's all you remember to be successful. Hey Hafsa, I think you just joined. Hafsa in the house section already. What time is it? Wow. I'm in a while already. I love this because I love this topic. How else do I? How else is this there to dig your way out of it? Now this might seem, I want to be a bit blunt with this. Although again, I've recognised this behaviour in myself. I don't know if any of you have done this. There's been some points in life, again, not in this role, where actually I've been really, really unhappy in a job. Like I've been, just I was bored, frustrated, thought I wasn't listened to, sidetracked, whatever. And I do all of these behaviours. I'll get frustrated and angry. I look at other people saying, why are they getting, like, how are they getting on with this? Like, it's not fair. It's different. So it was different for me. I can't do it. Self-talking myself all the way. And at some point, I'm laughing now. At some point, I just end up a little bit laughing at myself. I think, and I don't know if any of you have ever done this, you get to the point where you just think, I can't continue like this because this is ridiculous. I'm just going to have to get my head around this because I cannot continue to keep behaving the same way right now and expecting things to change. Now, if I can talk to a client, right, and get them into a space where they can start to see how, as desperate as they are for things to change, the irony of them not actually doing anything to help that. If I can get them to actually really see, I'm not like laughing at them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not laughing at them. I'm asking someone to look at their own behaviours and see how actually if they realise it is what it is. It is sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes you have to laugh at yourself and say, is this actually, okay, have I got to really stay like this, or stop saying it's in the world and stop saying there's nothing I can do and actually start to be thinking about who I want to be, because that's how you resolve it. A lot of the things I challenge with clients is say you're looking at other people as if it's not possible for you. Now, if I said to you, again, this isn't the client the other day, so if I said to you, if I painted a picture and say, what if I said to you, you could do this, there'd be no fear, all right? There's nothing terrible on the other side of making a difference to your day. There's nothing horrible, nothing bad's going to happen to you. That actually on the other side of this there's something that's going to make you really happy, right? Just as you, not exactly as it was before, but something brilliant and as fulfilling, etc. how do you feel? And it's really, no client has ever come back and said, nah. Because I can always find, there's always an example of this where we've done this before in life. There's always an example where we've dug our heels in, not wanted to change, and then after every change we make, when we start to change, there is something positive on the other side of it. It's just that moment where we're just digging our heels in, however you want to say it, and not refusing to, but literally like, if it's not the same, it's that way or no way. It's that way or no way. So many times. Another thing that I did with another client, I did it yesterday morning. As I said, I want you to write down all the things you think and feel are holding you back. So all the things you think and feel is holding you back from making or moving with change. What are they? She came out with some corkers. Okay, some of the classics, some real classics. I can't remember it word for word. It was like, I don't have time to do it. I don't have anyone to look after my children. I don't get enough sleep. The food I want doesn't come on the food delivery, and therefore I don't do it. I don't have time to food prep. And literally then, even though it took some time, we literally went through each of those statements and started to really get into if they were reality or not. Like, how true were they? How true was it that she didn't have time? Well, there was about 2 hours in a day, I think, where she was literally so I'm laughing, but she was sitting having tea most of the time. It sounds, but that's the thing, if she laughed, this is the interesting thing, right? It goes back, actually thinking about it, it goes back to previous points, she laughed at herself. When we went through all this and we actually looked at all the, but that was the one, it was the tea one that got it, because we worked out that she was something like 2.5 hours of the day, because she'd like to sit down and have like 20-25 minutes, a cup of tea, and a biscuit, to be fair. The biscuit probably took 5 minutes, but she said, oh my God, and she just started laughing. She's just so silly. I can't believe that I'm telling myself I don't have time to, it's not that she said this, but I don't have time to change with change, because I'm sitting drinking tea for 2 hours of the day. I was like, it's interesting, right? Because she literally followed the pattern and started laughing at herself and going, God, it's just silly. Why am I not doing what could make me so much happier when I'm just losing time left, right and centre? And that was just with that, like we did it with all of them, right? The reality was that all of them could be answered and resolved. It was actually for her though, it was safer to keep pausing, right? And I've talked about this as well this week. It's safer to not make change. It was safer not to put herself in a position where she might fail and might be judged. It was safer for her to pause, wait for gyms to open, for that example, or just pause down, because to change with change and fear failure and fear ridicule or fear judgment was for her, like most people, the reason why she chose to do nothing. She trained last night. So she changed, right? But this is the thing, right? I'm going to say this, is that there is always a consequence of not changing with change. I keep loving that saying. I'm going to get it on a t-shirt. Maybe in reverse, so when I wear it, it actually shows on camera the way I run. Right? There's always a consequence. And like most things in life, we don't see the consequence on a daily basis. So think about it. I've talked about this before on habits. You don't see the results or the consequences of not doing something on a daily basis on a daily basis. You only see it later down the line, which is where it's so prominent now with some people, because at this stage, like it or not, most people have started to looking at themselves and going, no, I can't continue like this. This is where I'm going to explore. This is where I'm going to go. I'm going to get out there, face it, do it, feel the fear, do it anyway. We never love that saying, right? Go out and do it. And so that's why now those people still pausing are really starting to separate, because they're still in the same position. They're still with the frustration and anger, but their behaviours are, as you imagine, because they've drifted for so long, they are, I won't say the word escalating, but a little bit more pronounced, we'll say. Pronounced behaviours. And so there's always a reason to change, right? So that's me. Recap. So why are people, so I said, what do I mean by pausing? I mean people are still looking backwards, wanting things as they were. Don't want to do it. No, I'm not staying here. Digging a hole. fetal position, head in sand, whatever you want to call it. I did the see nothing, hear nothing, right? But they do speak. I was going to say they do speak, and they say some very negative things about themselves, about the situation, about the environment, because they are frustrated and angry still. Frustrated and angry at themselves for not changing, and frustrated and angry at other people for changing, because it reflects back that they're not unable to see there's opportunities for change, because they're still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the right opportunity for things to go back to exactly as they were. That is where these people are at. And what's the outcome? That negativity builds into behaviours, they drift, but actually, as I said, ironically, they probably do change their behaviours, even though they're not actually, they think they're staying still, right? Their behaviours escalate into something else. Poor food, lack of exercise, activity, whatever you want to call it. It is all there on a smorgasbord, love that word, smorgasbord of behaviours as they escalate. So how? Because I said I love these people. I love the mood hoover. I call them a mood hoover. I do. I embrace the mood hoovers, even though they suck the mood from everybody else. I'm like this. Let's go, right? I'm gonna put you on blowback, right? Because I want to challenge, right? And this is part of challenging yourself as well. Like I say, laugh at yourself. And then I gave an example where it literally happened yesterday morning, where someone was like, I can't believe, Helen, that I'm sat for 2 hours drinking tea when I could be doing something else. It's just ridiculous. I was like, nah. It's hard work. It is what it is, right? And that's it. Like sometimes when somebody says to me, I don't understand how people do it, I don't have the time. I don't understand. It's different for me. Am I going to say what I'm going to do? I'm going to write out those statements, write out the things, I called them beliefs the other day, right? Write out the things that you think and feel are holding you back from changing with change. What is holding you back from changing with, you look at other people, no, it's different, it's not different. No, you're not different to anybody else. How you think and feel about the situation is different to everybody else. But that can be challenged, right? So write out the reasons why you think and feel you cannot change with other people, and then start to delve into that, the reality of it. Like, is it true you don't have time, like with a million cups of tea a day? No, she got time because now she's having half a cup of tea and slamming in some training, right? True. That is the truth. That's the reality, that she can do that. But take any of the things that are stopping you change with change, and you'll find the same scenario. Which is why I love doing it, because it's like, aha, when the penny drops and someone goes, oh yeah, okay, right, fair point. Also links in, if you saw mine on Thursday, with the storytelling element, right? A lot of, sometimes when we do this behaviour, when we are pausing, there's a story behind where we are. And the story, again, isn't true. It's still a story we tell ourselves and other people why we're not doing things. However, time to unpause. If there's some things you're slowing your heels down on, it's time to unpause and keep going. So that's me done. What am I doing? Oh, I think it's the language one on Monday. Oh, I love talking about words. Words that say so many things when you're not even talking. Oh. So again, if you haven't... Oh, Kate. Sometimes the smallest change can lead to big changes later on. You don't notice until you look back. Yes. The thing is, I also think, Kate, that when people are in this position, I've talked about this character, this positional behaviour, it's often that they are looking for that big change again. So if I could use the same analogy of lockdown, it's like when they're in extreme, because I'm, again, just going back to what I said, I'm talking about an extreme of a behaviour. It's like somebody, for these people, the 23rd of March was like somebody coming in with a claw hand. I'm going to do claw hand to camera. Claw hand, and went, I'm just going to take your entire life right here, and it's all gone. Everything's gone. You have nothing. It's all gone. And then what they're waiting for is that hand to go, well, wait, here it goes. Oh, and it's done. There you go. Everything's back. And reality is, it's probably like I'm just going to take a little small change and put that back in, right? That's the reality of it, Kate. Really, because the small change, the small movement is actually what somebody needs. It's like taking the taking the brake off a little bit. And what they want and they're hoping for is the claw to come back in and get everything exactly the same as it was. But if anybody's made real substantial change and really got going, it always starts with one small movement, right? And that's where it gets really effective, okay? And that's where it does really work, actually. If you think about another solution to how, it's making actually one small change rather than trying to flip everything back to how it was, because that is an uphill challenge, right? So yeah, if you haven't, who's done it? So Dr. Karen, Kate and Vishal is still on here. Anyone else who watches this back, definitely who moved my cheese next Friday. In the meantime, think of any words on Monday that you find yourself saying that have a meaning. They might follow, or sentences. I'm going to cover some hot spots. One of those that I listen out for a coach. So I'm giving away coaching secrets again on Monday. All the things that I catch people out on this. Did I again? Look forward to that one. In the meantime, have a lovely weekend. Whatever you get outside to do with waterproofs on, enjoy it all. And I will catch you on Monday.